Every once in a while, something pops up online that it makes you scratch your head. It looks ancient, but at the same time, it feels incredibly modern. It's kind of familiar, but also totally alien. And this plaque, it is a perfect example of that. So let's see if we can unravel this thing together.
Just take a look at this. At first glance, it's a plaque, right? And it's presented like it's some priceless artifact you'd find in a museum. It just feels important, like it has a real history. But the more you look at it, the more questions you have. It seems to completely contradict itself. Let's start with just what we can see.
So our investigation is going to start by just treating this thing as a real physical object. We're going to break down what we're actually looking at.
Right off the bat, you get this sense of real quality. This does not look like something that was just thrown together. The materials look expensive, the work looks incredibly professional, and it's presented with this reverence you'd give a truly valuable artifact.
Okay, let's zoom in on the details. The stone itself has this beautiful kind of milky shine to it, almost like a fine jade or marble. The frame is gilded, covered in these incredibly detailed floral patterns. The gold inscriptions are just so sharp and precise, and it's all mounted on this polished, carved wooden stand. I mean, every single element here just screams value and meticulous craftsmanship.
But honestly, the craftsmanship is only half the story. The real mystery kicks in when we actually try to read it.
And this image right here, it really captures the central puzzle perfectly. You have two totally different sets of writing here, and they're sending completely different signals. One is something you'll recognize instantly, while the other is, well, it's a total unknown.
By putting them side by side like this, you can see the puzzle so clearly. On the left, a phrase most of us recognize immediately. On the right, a script that almost no one does. This is the exact moment the object goes from being a beautiful curiosity to a genuine, full-blown enigma.
All right, so let's start with what we know. There's an anchor of familiarity right at the top. The name Jesus Christ is written in this classic, gilded font. It's unambiguous, it gives us an immediate cultural and religious context. But that context is about to get completely turned on its head.
And that, right there, is the million-dollar question. What on earth is the script underneath it? It's clearly the main part of the text, but for the average person, it's completely indecipherable.
Okay, so let's take a much closer look at these strange characters. They are really the heart of this entire mystery. When you get right up on it, you can see just how complex they are. These aren't just random squiggles. They have structure. Some of them almost look like little pictures, like stylized plants or objects, kind of like ancient Egyptian or Mayan hieroglyphs. Others have these flowing, deliberate strokes, like a really advanced form of calligraphy. Now, check out the layout. You've got the main body of glyphs that looks like it's forming a sentence or a phrase. But then, off to the right, there are two smaller characters set apart inside a box. You see this a lot in East Asian art, actually, for a seal or a signature. So is that a maker's mark? A date? It's a clue for sure, but it's a clue that only makes the puzzle deeper.
This just opens up some wild possibilities, doesn't it? Are we looking at a genuine lost language from some undiscovered culture? Or is it maybe a work of fiction, a conlang, a constructed language made for a story? Or is it just an artistic invention, a series of symbols that look like language but actually mean nothing at all?
Okay, so if we can't fully decode the object itself, maybe where we see it can give us some answers. And this is where the story goes from mysterious to just plain bizarre.
So here it is again. But this time, look at it. It's this massive centerpiece in a grand museum hall. You've got classical statues and glass cases in the background. This setting is screaming priceless historical artifact. It's telling us this object is important, ancient, and worthy of preservation. But hold that thought.
Because now, look at this, it's the same plaque, but now it's sitting in the middle of a fountain in what looks like a modern skyscraper corporate lobby. The people are walking around in business suits, the architecture is all sleek and contemporary. This context suggests expensive corporate art, not ancient history. So how can it be in both of these places?
And just when you think you've seen it all, here's a third location. It looks like a bright, airy foyer of a luxury hotel or maybe a fancy condominium. It feels like a high-end decoration, something an interior designer picked out. So we have three completely different, mutually exclusive settings. What is going on?
This really forces us to question everything we're seeing. I mean, if the plaque can't physically be in all these places at once, then maybe none of the settings are real. Maybe the photos themselves are the trick.
But wait, here's a tiny little detail that might just crack the case wide open. If you look in the corner of some of these images, there's a small, four-pointed star. Now this is a known watermark used by certain AI image generators. All of a sudden, a new possibility opens up, that we're not looking at photos of a real object at all.
Okay, let's pull all of these conflicting clues together and try to make sense of what this plaque actually is.
So we're left with a few main theories. Theory 1, it's a real artifact and someone is just having fun photoshopping it into different backgrounds. 2, it's a real piece of modern art, and these are just concept photos for how to display it. 3, the entire thing, the plaque, the setting, everything, is a purely digital creation from an AI. Or 4, it's a digital asset, a prop, for something like a video game or a movie that we haven't seen yet.
Every piece of evidence just seems to clash with the last. You've got this ancient-looking script butting up against modern English, the museum setting clashes with the corporate lobby, the feel of physical craftsmanship clashes with the hints of digital generation. It's a fantastic modern riddle, all wrapped up in a digital package. And so, at the end of the day, we don't have a final, confirmed answer. The journey of trying to figure this thing out is really the point. It forces us to question what we see, how we interpret context, and what authenticity even means in our digital age.
It's really a perfect symbol of our times, isn't it? It's this incredible blend of history, faith, language, and cutting-edge technology. It could be a priceless artifact, a clever piece of art, or just a string of code. So, I'll turn it over to you. What do you think you're looking at? Artifact, art, or algorithm?